Okay, guys, I'm going to try and break it down into smaller pieces to deal with everything that's happening. So, I'm going to continue at number 4 here, which is the business signed a contract with Always Safe Securities for guarding the premises. An annual premium of 32,400 Rand for the period ended 31 July 2022 was paid in full on 1 August 2021. Now, automatically, that should strike you as a prepaid expense. Now, with a prepaid expense, we must remember you can't have information for more than 12 months. So if our financial year ends 28 February 2022, and this premium was paid until 31 July 2022, it means that 5 months have been paid in advance. We're talking 1 March 2022 until 31 July 2022. So we must first find out what's the amount that they've given us for security expenses, and we're going to enter it here. Security expenses. Okay, guys, and then the amount they gave us for security expenses is 72,500, but they're saying that this 72,500 probably includes the 32,400. Okay, so we know a part of that is problematic because our year ends 28 February. So what are we going to do? We have to find out how much of this 32,400 is not applicable for the current financial year. And that's 5 months. Yeah? 1 March 2022 until 31 July 2022. So what we can do over here, and that's a sum that's already done, is find out what's the monthly amount. The monthly amount is 2,700 Rand because it's 32,400 for a full year, and we divide by 12, and that wasn't supposed to happen, and we're going to get 2,700 Rand. So now, guys, the security expenses is 72,500 Rand. But now we need to remove the part that is too much. Now we said it's 2,700, and we're going to multiply it by 5 months, which means we're at 59,000 for the year. So over here we're going to write 59,000, and we're going to move on. The next part is all details in respect of the February 2022 salary of an employee were incorrectly debited to the sundry expenses account. The following information relates to a salary. There's a net salary deductions, and it says the business contributes 2 Rand for every 1 Rand deducted for the pension fund. Note, EFT payments have already been processed for all relevant amounts payable. Okay, guys, so that means we kind of missed these details, but only in the booking process here because everything has been taken care of. So let's go look at salaries over here. So salaries and wages amounts to, it's quite a large figure, 1,381,500. Okay, but we're missing something. 1381500. What are we missing? We're missing the things that were kind of left out. So now, please remember, guys, the net salary is the salary after deductions, but that is still a cost to the company. What we want to find out is the gross salary, because that's actually what we're paying this person. Remember, the deductions are what the employee pays himself. It's just that the company takes it away on his behalf. So now we're going to add the amounts that are missing. 11525 plus the SARS pay as you earn, which is his income tax, 3235, plus the pension fund contribution of 990. And guys, we have to add this cost that the business is paying also on his behalf. So the business contributes 2 Rand for every 1 Rand deducted for the pension fund. So that means if the employee gives 1 Rand, the employer will give 2 Rand. So what are we going to say, guys? 990 multiplied by 2. And that means the value of our salaries is actually 1399230. All right. And then we are now at a tenant has been leasing office space on the premises since March 2020. She's paid the rent until 30th April 2022. Note that the monthly amount was reduced by 1,350 Rand with effect from 1 January 2022. Okay, guys, remember, financial year ends 28 February 2022. The rent has been paid until 30th April 2022. So that means income received in advance. Now, if we have that, we have to reduce rent income. So over here, we're going to write rent income. But guys, we're going to need a calculation. So we're going to go down here. Okay, now please remember, if they give you something like this, what's easiest is to kind of find out what's the monthly figure and then divide. So you have, let's go back and find out how much is rent income. Rent income is 183. Let's say all equals 183,600. Okay, now guys, please remember that this 1350 is a reduction. So that means they reduced the rent by 1,350. Okay, and we have rent until 30th April 2022. So it's from 1 March 2021 until 30th April 2022. So that means it's 14 months because the next financial year will start 1 March and then April. So it's 14 months. Now, the best solution I can give you here is for you to add back the reduction and for the amount of months. So think about it, guys. If you add back 1,350 for the amount of months where the change took place, and then you divide by the total amount of months you have, the answer will be equal. You'll get the exact amount of rent. So what we're going to do is say 1,350 multiplied by how many months is it from 1 January 2022 until 30th April 2022. January, February, March, and April is 4 months. So if we multiply this by 4, we're going to get 189,000. Now bear with me if you're still a bit confused. Okay, what we did was we added back the change, the reduction. After that, we're going to divide this by the amount of months we have. So now we're going to say 189,000. Okay, and we're going to divide it by 14 months, which means 13,500. So guys, 13,500 is the rent if there was no change, if there was no effect. Okay, now what did they tell you from 1 January 2022? They said that rent was reduced by 1,350. So look at it now. Now we say 1,350 minus 1,350. We're subtracting 10%, which means the new rental figure is 12,150 Rand. Okay, now here's your answer. We just have to figure out for how many months. So remember, it's 2 months that you received in advance because it was for 14 months. So that means these 2 months here is received in advance. So what are we going to do? We're going to go up here to rent income. Yeah? And hang on, how much was that amount? It was 183,600. Hey, we're going to go here and we're going to say equals 183,600. And we're going to subtract the 2 months that you received in advance, because we only want 12 months information, which gives us rent income of 159,300. Okay, now guys, let's look at the rest. Okay, here's the loan, income tax. All right, now look at what they gave us. They gave us net profit after tax. Okay, so we need to calculate income tax. Now they're telling you income tax for the year is calculated at 30% of net profit. The net profit after tax is 356,300. So what are we going to do here? We're going to work backwards. So guys, I'm going to say equals 356,300 multiplied by, what do you want? You want the income tax, so that's 30 divided by, what do you have? You have the amount that's left over. What is 100 minus 30? That's 70. So what you want over what you have, and then we're going to do that. And that means income tax in brackets is 152,700. Now remember, if you want net profit before tax, there's two ways to do it. If you're working from bottom to top, what do you have to do? You have to do the opposite of what the sign is here. So we'd add these two together to get to this. But if you want to get net profit before tax using a sum similar to this one, we're going to say 356,300 multiplied by, what do you want now? You want the full amount before any changes took place. So multiplied by 100. Actually, let's just put a bracket here. Multiplied by 100 over, what do you have? You have the remaining amount here, which is a 70. So now we put over 70. And that means 509. And it works out, because if I do the sum for you quickly over here, if I say equals 509, and I can multiply it by 0.3, and there's 152,700, or I can even say minus 356,300, which was given to you, and you get 152,700. So you know you're safe. Alright guys, shares and dividends we know don't affect the income statement. The interest expense amount was given to us, so again we're going to work backwards over here. So now I'm going to say 509, sorry, I forgot the equal sign, equals 509 plus